Hi everyone, it's Miriam Ortiz y Pino here with More Than Organized, and I just wanted to take a couple minutes to talk to you about indecision today because clutter is really undecided things. It's piles of stuff you haven't decided on or made decisions about, and that's what gets in your way. So, one of my colleagues said clutter is just unmade decisions, and I have found it to be true. It's the things we set down just for now or that we aren't sure what to do with. So there's lots of different ways to make decisions. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot to turn off my dryer before I started the Facebook Live. Laundry day. It's Monday. So back to indecision. There's a bunch of things that can happen when we don't decide on something. And typically, it just piles up in the corner and gets dusty. And then we have to move it. And then we have to feel guilty about it. And then we have to beat ourselves up a little bit about not having made the decision or finished the task. So I want to let you know some ways to work around the indecision and keep you moving forward without necessarily having to make every single decision right in the moment. But a couple things you should realize as well is that making good decisions takes practice. And if you never make decisions, or if all you do is waste your energy on silly decisions that really can be made as more blanket decisions to deal with whole groups of things in the first place, you don't have enough energy left to make the bigger decisions, like what to do with your kids for the summer, like should you start this new business? Is it time to quit the day job? Is it more beneficial to let that relationship go? Those bigger decisions are harder when you've used up all your energy on little things like what shade of nail polish should I wear and what should I wear today and where did I put that thing I was looking for? Why haven't I decided about that other stuff? So setting yourself up for success means practicing better ways of making decisions and creating ways of working around the things you aren't quite able to decide about. And there's a bunch of different reasons why we can't decide. One, we're too tired because we've made so many small insignificant decisions. Two, we don't have good criteria for making the decision in the first place. Three, we need a little more information before we can make a decision. And four, we may need someone else's input about the decision if it affects more than just you. So all of these things are connected and require a little bit of a different approach. So I want to tell you how to be able to move forward until you get all the things in place. And then you can get more information about how to put the things in place. I have several articles about making decisions and indecision specifically over at the website morethanorganized.net. There's lots of free resources on there, and many of them have to do with making decisions, so check that out. But really, I've found most of my clients get bogged down when they're trying to make decisions. We'll be making a bunch of quick decisions, and then all of a sudden one thing is heavy for whatever reason. It's emotionally charged. It's caught up in feelings of shoulds or guilt that you haven't done it. And it might be just because you don't really want to do it. It might be because of one of those other things I was talking about, the lack of criteria, information, or need to touch base with someone else. So make sure you're in a good place to make those kinds of decisions. And when you get to something that you can't decide about, don't let it derail the entire effort of getting organized. Instead, create a special spot where you keep the things you haven't decided about yet. So for instance, when it's paperwork, if you're going through a bunch of stuff and you know these are bills I need to pay, these are events I'm going to need to attend, and I know right away if I can go or not, these are things I definitely need to file, and then you run across 4 or 5 things where you're just not sure today. What can I do right now to make this decision? And it's just not happening for whatever of those reasons. The fatigue, lack of information, lack of criteria, or need to check with someone else. So you can just set it aside into a pile that's actually called, I haven't decided yet. I have one right here. Let me go get it. It's basket right here. That's it. I love these baskets because they're so great for so many different things. But what I have in here are a few notebooks with some ideas that I can't decide if I'm ready to let go of, and a few things that have come in the mail, free offers and things that I just haven't had a chance to open, and so I don't know if I even need to keep them yet. So, indecision. The best part about an indecision pile when it's classified and categorized and set up to receive things you haven't decided about is it's self-correcting. When you do get to the point where you're looking through it, and I recommend setting aside a little bit of time every week to just glance back through it, because number one, dates happen and expire. So if it's a coupon for something you couldn't decide if you were going to get or not, it might be over now. If it's an event you didn't know until you checked with your spouse or your partner and they got back to you and said, no, we can't go, you now have enough information to pull it out and let it go. You may have more information about the fact that, yes, this is the camp you meant to send your kids to, and you wanted to check with someone else. Or you got more feedback or a question answer via email or something like that. And so now you can decide what the next step for that thing is. So if it's not paperwork, you can set up the same kind of thing. When you're working through the clutter in your house, if you're working in the garage or the laundry room or your closet or your home office, and there's little things, trinkets, memorabilia, outfits you're not sure if you're going to keep. You will if you have that belt that goes with it, but not if you go through the whole closet and you can't find that belt. Those kinds of things that you just can't decide on. Or if it's something really emotionally charged and you're just like, I don't know, I seem frozen about it. For whatever reason, create a box or a bin or a spot on your floor that collects all the things you can't quite decide upon yet. Because as you work through more piles, practicing making good decisions on the smaller, easier things, you will get enough repetitions under your belt that some of those bigger seeming decisions will not seem so hard. And then you'll be able to make them. Or you might have been waiting for that one little piece of information, like, did you have the belt? Did you have the cap for that thing? Is that the foot that goes on the chair that's in the garage or not? Is that the cord that goes to that one thing that's in the kids' room? You will have more information the more piles you go through, and you'll be able to make decisions and let more go or keep things together with what they belong with. The other place you can use these indecision piles is if you buy something new or someone gives you something and you're not quite sure what to do with it in your house, if it fits in. This comes up a lot with my clients with kids. You know, they're given a lot of things at like birthday parties or clothes show up for your kids and they're not quite the right size yet, or you don't know if they work with your kids' style. You can have a place in your entry hall or coat closet or mudroom where you're putting things that are coming in, or you buy something that you're not quite sure where it goes. I don't recommend that. I recommend you always know where something goes before you buy it. But let's say you're accumulating a few things for a project. Like right now, I'm getting ready to do my yard. And I have a couple planters on the side of the house that I've just recently got from my mom, and a few things from my dad's place that I'm going to incorporate into the yard this year. But I haven't set up the yard yet, so they're kind of in a pile. And some of them may not work once I get everything together, and those will go. But in the meantime, they're in this kind of staging area, waiting to come in and be incorporated into the plan. So I hope that helps. And then you set up an actual time to work through the pile, to work through the indecision and make your actual decisions. So once you have all the pieces that could go in your yard pulled together, you do your yard, and whatever doesn't work goes away. You check your kids' clothes and see if they really needed 400 more t-shirts with cats on them. You check to see how many pairs of shoes your kid actually needs. And silly me, I didn't turn off all my interruptions today. Sorry. Good note to self, always turn off all your notes and alarms before you start a thing. All right, so does that help with the indecision? It's not important necessarily that you make every decision right now, but that you're aware that there are things that might help you make the decision. Establishing criteria, having more information from other sources around your life, work, and house, checking in with partners or other people involved in the decision or the thing that will happen as a result of making the decision, and being refreshed and energized to make decisions in the first place. But no decision should ever hold you up from doing more of the easy stuff. So you can continue forward and get better and build that decision-making muscle. And by the end of going through all of your different piles, you will be able to make decisions on a lot more things. And there's no harm in keeping things for a while until you're more comfortable making the decision. The important part is that you're aware that you're not putting it aside till later, or I don't know for now is the important part. I don't know right now, but I will soon when I have more information, when I have more input, when I see if the other stuff that goes with it is here, and you match it up and you make the decision. So it's a temporary choice to not make the decision. Because if all you ever do is not make decisions, the choice you're making is to live in chaos and to work in chaos. The important part is to gain control of the steps. And one of the steps to getting rid of clutter is making an actual decision on the stuff. Why do you have it? How is it working for you? How are you going to use it? And if you can't answer that yet, put it in one single pile of decisions to be made. And that is a decision moving you forward in the process. All right, let me know if you have any questions, comments. Let me just check real quick. I want to see if anyone had something to say. I see a lot of people on the Facebook Live today, and I'm very excited. Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Slowly but surely, we're building an audience here, and this happens every Monday at about 11 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific for the rest of you here in the United States. I don't see any questions, but in the future, let me know when you're coming on and who you are, and share it with your friends and let them know, and slowly but surely you will make progress in simplifying and streamlining your life. Again, more free resources available at morethanorganized.net. Thanks for coming. Bye.